Guys, we are on track in 2022 for this to be the biggest year for Apple products ever, meaning we are going to get the most releases this year than any year in Apple's history. We've already gotten the Mac Studio, an iPad Air, and iPhone SE on top of the M2 chip instead of a new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. But Apple still has new iPhones, iPads, Macs, Apple Watches, AirPods, and an Apple TV coming this year. So I want to go through everything that we're going to be getting in the next couple months. If you're excited for this one, drop a like down below. It seriously helps me out. And of course, subscribe so you stay up to date on everything. All right, there's so much happening this fall. What we think is going to be the case, like always, is that Apple holds an event in September, and there we are going to see first the iPhone 14 lineup. This year, as I talked about in my hands-on video with some models of the iPhone 14, there are going to be 4 models, including an all-new max-sized 6.7-inch model for under $1,000, which is gonna go crazy. But this year, unlike in years past, Apple's getting real petty between the Pro and the non-Pro. Like, it's always been known that you're just like a better person if you buy the Pros. Like, the iPhone 14 isn't just gonna look the same as last year. Internally, it's gonna have slower RAM than the iPhone 14 Pro, a slower processor, the A15 from last year, and even the camera is gonna stay 12 megapixels. Where on the Pro, not only does the camera bump get bigger on the back to make it look a little bit different, that is going to be 48 megapixels. On the front of the phone, there's the all-new eye design for the camera and Face ID. Plus inside, there's a faster A16 chip and the fastest 6 gigabytes of RAM. So just from this really brief overview, you can already tell that there's a little bit of a difference. And I'm just playing. Like, I don't actually think that I'm better if I get the Pro, I'm just slightly, maybe just a little better. And we've also heard mention of satellite connectivity on the iPhone 14 series, which I have said from the beginning would legitimately be game changing, where if you're in an area without cell service, you could reach out to the authorities for help or even send a text message to a loved one. So those are the 4 new iPhones coming, but there are also 3 new Apple Watches dropping in September as well. First of all is the Apple Watch SE2, which is going to be a lower cost, cheaper follow-up to the Apple Watch SE. Then the new Apple Watch Series 8, which is said to have a health temperature sensor inside as well as a faster processor. But the really exciting model this year is going to be something called the Explorer or Adventure Edition Apple Watch. I know it sounds made up, but this is coming from one of the best sources out there. This is going to be the first ever durable or rugged Apple Watch, where it's aimed at people taking their watches to the extreme. It's not going to be as fragile as the beautiful looking Apple Watch. It's likely going to have this flat edge design that makes it last longer and holds up better. Not that the existing Apple Watch doesn't hold up well, it's just like, I definitely cracked my Series 3 playing basketball once when someone bodied me. That's just a personal story I'd like to share. It doesn't have to do with Apple's 22 releases, just sharing some trauma. The rugged Apple Watch is absolutely going to be the coolest upgrade to the line this year, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. So I put my bets on iPhones and Apple Watches for sure in September of this year, but I think we could also see AirPods Pro 2 at this event. And I know you guys are absolutely losing your minds to get your hands on these. And a few months ago, we actually got a look at AirPods Pro 2, which you might say from this image, hey, Sam, just a quick question. Those are actually AirPods Pro 1. Could you show me AirPods Pro 2? Well, that's just because the design is said to be staying the same overall. But take a look at the case. There's not only going to be a loop so you can attach this to your wrist for the first time, there are also speakers so you can more easily locate your AirPods with Find My. Because the current Find My is essentially the equivalent of looking into an abyss. So the case alone for AirPods Pro 2 is going to be huge. But inside the buds, while they do look aesthetically very similar aside from a slightly different grill on the top here, on the inside there's going to be a faster processor, and Apple is going to support lossless audio, which means it's going to sound stupid good. Apple has been reportedly working on a way to do this wirelessly, which nobody's really done before. So basically, whatever you do, just don't buy AirPods Pro right now, because these are going to be an absolutely bonkers upgrade. But you know what you guys don't have to wait until September for? It's going to therapy. That's why BetterHelp, who sponsored today's video, I am so happy to be partnering with, because I know I'm getting real here, but therapy has genuinely changed my life. That's because BetterHelp Online Therapy is here for the twists and turns in your life and helps assess your needs and matches you with your own licensed professional therapist in less than 48 hours. But it is not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional therapy done securely online, and it's available to people around the world. Once you get matched with your therapist, you can message them at any time, and from there, schedule phone calls or video calls to check in and really start the process of getting better. There are already over 2 million people that have started their mental health journey with BetterHelp. And just for you guys, I've got a special offer down below. When you go to betterhelp.com/iupdate, you get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Listen, it's not all the time, guys, that I get sponsors that have genuinely changed my life. So if you're going through stuff or you just feel like you should talk to somebody, BetterHelp is a super accessible way to get started. Link down below. Okay, guys, so now let's move on to the final things Apple is dropping this year, which will likely be at an event in October or November, kicking things off with some new 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. Now, this surprised me actually to see on the list here because we just got the new MacBook Pros last year, and usually the MacBook Pros had been updated kind of sporadically or not exactly on the year mark, but this year we're hearing that new M2 Pro and Max chips are already coming. I really think that that's going to be the only change, just a processor spec bump, and genuinely, that's the only thing I want. I don't want Apple to touch these computers because I mean it when I say that they are actually perfect. Literally every time I use my MacBook Pro, I just smile because of how good it is, and to hear that they're going to be getting faster chips this soon, I mean, that's awesome because now we're going to be getting the power of the M2 in my favorite chip already. But also for the Mac, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a new Mac Mini as well. We've seen this design leaked for quite some time now, sort of reminiscent of the mid-2000s version with the plexiglass top and silver exterior. And somebody's got to say it, it's hot, okay? And I want to be in an intimate relationship with it. Is that too much? Am I going to get demonetized? You better not, because you can't stop true love. Joking aside though, we just really need an affordable Mac desktop, because considering that the Mac Studio starts at $2,000, I'd love to see something in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, and I believe that that's where the new Mac Mini will fall. And I would assume we would also get at least a teaser of the new Mac Pro at this event, or sometime before the end of the year, because Apple said they would complete their transition to Apple Silicon with 2 years that they've been on track, and that expires in November, when it'll be 2 years since the first M1 chip was introduced. And I'm here for it. Just as much as I want an affordable little Mac desktop, I want to be broke. I would like to live without any money. But that's still not all, guys. We haven't even talked about the iPad Pros yet, which are also going to be getting updated new 11 and 12.9 inch models, which are going to look roughly the same, but they'll add wireless charging and the M2 chip inside. Plus, they're getting better cameras.
Yes, oh my gosh, I've just been sitting here like, man, if only I had an iPad with a better camera, I could take 0 times 0 more photos. I could take so many 0 more photos.
I mean, that's like putting a potato chip on the iPhone. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get hungry and I'm gonna eat the potato chip, but I could also just go to the store and get potato chips, like a dedicated potato chip. Editor, don't put that in. That was real cheesy. Last thing Apple is going to announce this year is a new, cheaper Apple TV. There have been rumors that it could be an Apple TV stick or something more portable, specifically something to compete with the likes of the Google Chromecast or Amazon's Fire Stick. And I think we might actually see something like this from Apple, just because now that Apple is pushing their own Apple TV content, they want to get this in as many places as possible, and having the entry-level Apple TV start at over $100 is just not gonna work. So again, these are all the things that are still coming this year that we haven't gotten. 4 iPhones, 3 Apple Watches, new iPads, 2 new Macs, 2 new iPads, Apple TV, and all the accessories that Apple's gonna drop. It is going to be banana pants, as they say. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Check out BetterHelp, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.